3 patients, 3 different hospitals, 3 deaths that looked completely natural, but one pharmacist saw what no doctor, no nurse, and no detective ever could. A pattern hidden inside a prescription pad.
Dr. Nathan Cross was 44 years old, chief of cardiology at St. Matthew's Hospital in Baltimore. Published researcher, award-winning surgeon. Patients flew across the country to be treated by him. His survival rates were exceptional. His bedside manner was legendary. Everyone trusted Dr. Cross.
In September 2018, a 61-year-old woman named Patricia Holloway was admitted for a routine valve replacement. The surgery went perfectly. Dr. Cross himself performed it. But 3 days after the operation, Patricia's heart stopped, the official cause of death. Post-surgical cardiac arrest. It happens. Rarely. But it happens.
7 months later, April 2019, Robert Keene, 58, admitted to Mercy General for a bypass. Different hospital, same surgeon. Dr. Cross was consulting. The bypass was textbook. 5 days later, Robert died in his sleep. Cause of death: heart failure following surgery. 2 patients, 2 hospitals. No connection was made.
January 2020. Margaret Liu, 67, Johns Hopkins. Aortic repair performed by Dr. Cross as visiting surgeon. Recovery was progressing well. On day 4, Margaret complained of dizziness. By day 5, she was dead. Cardiac arrest, again. 3 patients, 3 surgeries by the same doctor. 3 deaths within a week of the operation. But no one had connected them, not yet.
David Okonkwo had been a clinical pharmacist for 11 years. His job was simple but critical. Review every prescription written in the hospital. Check for allergies. Check for interactions. Check dosages. Most days, nothing unusual crossed his desk. But in March 2020, something did.
David was reviewing Margaret Liu's post-operative medications. Standard protocol: blood thinners, pain management, antiarrhythmics. But one combination caught his eye: amiodarone and methadone, both prescribed by Dr. Cross. Individually, perfectly safe. Together, they can extend something called the QT interval. The heart's electrical rhythm stretches. And sometimes, it just stops.
David pulled records. He searched for every patient Dr. Cross had prescribed both drugs to in the past 2 years. He found 7 cases. 4 survived. 3 didn't. Patricia Holloway, Robert Keene, Margaret Liu. All 3 had received the same lethal combination within 48 hours of their death. And in each case, there was no medical reason to prescribe both drugs together.
David went to his supervisor first. She told him he was overthinking it. "Doctors make judgment calls," she said. He went to the hospital ethics board. They reviewed his findings for 2 weeks and concluded it was coincidental. He went to the medical licensing board. They opened a file but took no action. Nobody wanted to accuse a celebrated surgeon of murder.
In June 2020, David walked into the Baltimore Police Department's homicide unit. He brought a folder, 37 pages. Every prescription, every interaction, every timeline. Detective Rena Vasquez listened for 40 minutes without interrupting. When David finished, she said one sentence: "Show me the prescriptions were unnecessary."
Detective Vasquez assembled a team. 2 homicide detectives, a forensic pharmacologist from the university, and a medical examiner who agreed to re-examine the 3 bodies. They worked in secret. If Cross found out he was being investigated, evidence could disappear. Prescriptions could be altered. Files could be lost.
They exhumed Patricia Holloway first. Her family agreed immediately. They'd always felt something was wrong. The new toxicology report confirmed what David suspected: dangerously elevated levels of both amiodarone and methadone. Levels that should never exist in a post-cardiac surgery patient. The same results came back for Robert Keene. And then Margaret Liu. All 3. Lethal drug interactions prescribed by the same hand.
But why? Why would a successful surgeon kill his own patients? Detective Vasquez found the answer in insurance records. All 3 patients had policies with the same company, Meridian Life. And Dr. Cross's wife, Laura Cross, was a senior claims adjuster at Meridian Life. When a patient dies during or shortly after surgery, the hospital's malpractice insurance pays out. But when a patient dies from natural post-operative complications, the life insurance pays the family. And the hospital collects a death benefit from its own policy.
The scheme was elegant and almost invisible. Cross selected patients whose age and condition made post-surgical death plausible. He prescribed the lethal combination buried among a dozen other standard medications. His wife ensured the claims processed quickly with no investigation. The hospital received payouts totaling over $4 million. And Dr. Cross received performance bonuses tied to the hospital's financial health. He was being rewarded for killing.
The detective needed more than toxicology. She needed to prove intent. She subpoenaed Cross's medical records from all 3 hospitals. In every case, the dangerous combination was added on day 2 or 3, never on admission. Always after the patient was recovering well. Always handwritten on the chart. Never entered into the electronic system where interaction alerts would flag it. He knew exactly what he was doing.
In August 2020, David agreed to wear a wire. He called Dr. Cross directly. Told him he'd noticed the prescriptions, that he thought it might be a mistake. Cross's response was calm, measured. He thanked David for his diligence, said he would review his protocols. But then he said something that sealed his fate. He said, "Those 3 patients were already dying. I just made it easier for their families."
On September 14th, 2020, exactly 2 years after Patricia Holloway's death, Dr. Nathan Cross was arrested in his office between surgeries. He was still wearing his scrubs. His wife was arrested at Meridian Life's headquarters 1 hour later. Both were charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and racketeering.
The trial lasted 6 weeks. The defense argued that the drug combination was a medical judgment call, that post-surgical deaths are not uncommon. But the prosecution had the wire recording. They had the toxicology. They had the insurance trail. And they had David Okonkwo, who sat on the witness stand for 2 days and explained, drug by drug, interaction by interaction, exactly how 3 people were murdered with a pen.
Guilty. On all counts. Nathan Cross received 3 consecutive life sentences without parole. Laura Cross received 25 years for conspiracy. The hospital settled with the families for $12 million. The case led to new federal regulations requiring dual pharmacist review for all post-surgical prescriptions at every hospital in the country.
David Okonkwo never wanted recognition. He went back to work the following Monday. But his colleagues started calling him something. The man who reads prescriptions like crime scenes. He saved an estimated 11 lives. Because the investigation revealed 4 more patients who had received the combination, but survived only because their dosages were slightly lower. They never knew how close they came.
A prescription pad. That's all it took to kill 3 people and fool an entire medical system. But one pharmacist read between the lines. Could you have spotted that pattern? Subscribe and hit the bell. Because sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't a gun, it's a pen.